Hey, what's up, spooky fam? It is that time of the month where we are recapping what I watched in the previous month, and today we are recapping all of the films we watched in the month of February. And I feel like it was a slow month for us. Well, movie-wise, we actually watched the entire series of Succession. We're kind of late to the game, but we binged all 4 seasons, and then we watched almost the whole first season of Hannibal, which has been really cool. I'd only seen a couple episodes, so it's been really cool to follow up on that story. And then we've actually been watching House, the show, not the movie. But I've never actually seen. I was a big Grey's Anatomy girl, and I feel like I missed out on the whole world of House, so we're doing that. So as always, I will leave my Letterboxd link down below with all of the other fun things. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. Let's begin by letting you know that we only watched 29 movies this month, and I feel like I said, that was a little bit slow for us. We've been doing like upwards of 45, 50 movies a month. So 29 movies and things we've logged in the month of February, beginning with the documentary Dario Argento, Panico, and it was so good. It was so cool to kind of see his creative process and kind of look back on all these amazing films. I thought it was wonderful. I just love Dario Argento. I think he's such a wonderful, sweet man who makes terrifying, bloody films. I won't really talk too much about this next one. I should say, these are on the 2nd, but Jack Whitehall's new comedy special called Settle Down. He's my favorite comedian, I would have to say. A lot of comedians are bad guys, and I just really enjoy Jack Whitehall. I feel like the way that he picks on his dad is the way that I pick on my dad, and it really resonates with me. So had to watch that. But then on the 3rd, we watched the Andy Baker tape, which is a found footage film. You can find it on YouTube. It is so short. I think it's, yeah, it's 70 minutes. So you might be seeing that in an upcoming video. Wink, wink. But honestly, even though it's 70 minutes, I still think it could have been a little bit shorter. And it was a very mid found footage film. But also on the 3rd, we watched 20 Days in Mariupol, which was the war in Ukraine doc. It's also free on YouTube. Very sad. But it's also nominated for an Oscar, so that is why we watched that one. Okay, moving on to the 9th. We had so much fun this day. We did the Joe Bob double feature with Freeway, which was a film that I'd never seen. I just kind of wrote it off as being a Kiefer Sutherland, Reese Witherspoon. I don't know what I thought it was, but it was so good. It was right up my alley. It was sleazy. It was really cool. It was Oliver Stone produced. It was just so cool to watch, and it was really fun to watch with Joe Bob. And then followed that up with Vamp, and I've already recommended it. I just love that movie. I think that Grace Jones in that film, she serves C-word, if you know what I mean. On the 10th, we actually did the Brain Dead double feature with Brain Dead, which was starring Bill Pullman, the Bills, Bill Pullman, Bill Paxton, thinking that it was the other Brain Dead. But this one was strange. It was about a neurosurgeon, very like brain swappy. It was pretty cool. But then we followed that up with Brain Dead, Peter Jackson's Brain Dead, also known as Dead Alive, which I cannot stop thinking about that baby. It was so disgusting and grotesque and everything that I wanted in a film, and I loved it. That kind of Peter Jackson, I loved. If you guys remember me talking last month about Heavenly Creatures and how I didn't really vibe with it, or a couple months ago, This one, this kind of Peter Jackson, this is where I feel comfortable. On the 11th, we rewatched The Ring, which is a perfect film in my opinion. And then we watched a documentary called They Called Him Mostly Harmless. I wouldn't necessarily, well, I mean, it was okay, but I feel like I need to be gripped a little more. This was about a man who went missing in the woods, but people were being attacked in the woods, and they were seeing this man or had encounters with this man, and I don't know. I didn't vibe with that one, but on the 14th, we watched The Iron Claw, finally, and that movie was so sad. That movie was so sad. It was so well acted and so well performed, but it was so sad. Very good. Highly recommend. Especially if you're a wrestling fan. We definitely are. On the 17th, we watched the original Ring. It wasn't as good. I wouldn't call that one a perfect film. I really liked the color grading in Gore Verbinski's version of The Ring and what he did with that one. The original one, I really loved the opening and seeing where that kind of inception happened, where all these kind of films ripped it off from, and it really did. It hit all the beats for me, but it wasn't as good as the original, or as the remake for me. On the 17th, we also watched Monolith, finally, which kind of wasn't what I expected it to be. It definitely was just one person, one room, kind of, you gotta sell it if you want the movie to be good, and it wasn't terrible. It wasn't bad. I don't really want to spoil it for you because it's more or less about these little tiny monolith bricks that people were experiencing or things. It's a cool story to dive into. It's more or less like auditory, less visual, but it was cool. On the 17th, we also watched a movie called The Package. I wrote this movie off for a long time. I don't necessarily love, I don't seek out comedies, but after finding out that we are big fans of the Workaholics guys, and after finding out they produced this, we went ahead and watched it, and I just giggled all the way through. I thought it was so funny. I laughed so hard. It was just such a funny movie. It was so stupid. It was stupid humor, stupid comedy, and I loved it. Wow, we watched 5 movies on the 17th. Next we watched Double Blind, which I don't think I enjoyed as much as I thought I was going to. I mean, it had okay gore. It just, I don't know, that movie, for that being a one place, kind of one area situation, that one just didn't do it for me. But then we followed that up with nothing like raising your blood pressure before bed. We watched Boiling Point on the 17th before bed, and that was another perfect film for me. It is all one take, it feels like, and it is so stressful. It is. If you guys like cooking shows like Gordon Ramsay, or like watching like YouTube videos of people like doing restaurant videos, I feel like this is gonna be for you. It's just really realistic, and it is very stressful, and the way the camera moves between characters with such ease makes it even more stressful. 18th, we also watched 5 movies. So starting off with Midnight Peep Show. I love anthologies, and this was another anthology. I mean, it's nothing special. It's pretty mid. You get a lot of sex, you get a lot of gore. I'm here for it. I would recommend it though. I thought it was pretty cool. Definitely really cool visuals. You can tell a lot of it was hand perhaps made in some sort of software like Blender, and it felt like it was pretty immersive, and it was really cool the way all the neon lights just kind of led you into each story. I don't know, I would recommend it because I like movies like that, but once again, it was pretty mid for an anthology. Followed that up with the documentary Sex, Lies, and the College Cult, which coincidentally I went back to work after that weekend, and stuff about that documentary was in the newspaper where we are. Weird. But like I said in my review, people just can't help themselves and have to take advantage of the vulnerable, and it's really gross and yucky, and this is another one of the documentaries that displays that. Followed that up by a movie theoretically you'd think I would have liked because it was about Kirsten Dunst smoking weed, but it was boring. It was by the Mulvaney sisters. Mulvaney, right? Molevy. It was by the Molevy sisters. And they did the costuming for Black Swan, and this is the only film they directed. And I only knew about this because Elijah Wood and Daniel Noah on their podcast, Visitations, interviewed the girls about this film. And I don't know, I thought I would have liked it. I didn't. I did not at all, as you can see in my review. Followed that up with a disgusting little, nasty, disgusting film called Headless. Now this one, if you trust me and you like gore, if you really like gore, like if you want to feel like you have to take a shower, I almost had to shut this off at a couple of points because it was so gory. If you trust me and you like those kind of films, check out Headless. It's definitely like a grindhousey, like it feels like a grindhouse feature. It's supposed to be like a lost slasher film from 1978. And spoiler, it's more or less a guy eating a lot of eyeballs and fucking a lot of heads. But if you guys enjoy that kind of thing, there's that. But we followed that up with Jonathan Glazer's Birth, because Zone of Interest, you'll see that pretty soon. We were going to watch that soon, so we were kind of catching up on our Jonathan Glazer filmography. Yeah, that was a film. I mean, it's really well done. Nicole Kidman was really cool in it, but the whole time you really think she's gonna, you know, and you don't want her to, you know, and it feels like she's gonna, you know, and I don't like it. Okay, the 19th was a good day. We started that off with Humanoids from the Deep. Not a good movie at all, but lots of boobs. Guys, I swear to you, day by day I am turning into Darren Van Dam from Flick Connection. Anyways, that was just like a afternoon watch, very stupid, just catching up on my 80s horror knowledge, you know. Followed that up with Fallen Angels from 1995, and this was an Alex pick, and I'm really happy that he chose it because it was very cool, very stylish, very unique. Really enjoyed the camera work and the color grading, and it was just a really cool, slick film. But then we ended the night on the 19th watching Lover, Stalker, Killer, and you know, I'm getting tired of Netflix cranking out these random documentaries that really don't do much for me. I want to be gripped. I want like Louis Theroux, My Scientology Movie level gripping from a documentary. Anyways, on the 20th we watched Zone of Interest, and that was Jonathan Glazer's new film. It is so good. That is a horror film. Audibly, it is a horror film. It is about Rudolf Haas and his family living next to a concentration camp. It is very, very hard. It's good. It's very, like, that was another, I gave a lot of 5 stars out this month, or last month, but that film deserves 5 stars because it starts you off on a black screen, so you can kind of tune your ears to make sure you're hearing and realizing what you're hearing. And as the film goes, you're getting this picturesque family life of this German family, and the whole time I'm like screaming like, no, you don't deserve, like, what's going on here, like, you don't deserve happiness, as these people are being, like, I don't know, we're in different times, we're in weird times now, and I'm not even gonna like touch on that, but I feel like Zone of Interest, for like being set up for you to just audibly hear what's going on while visually seeing another story, it's, talk about gripping. Alright, almost done here. On the 24th, we watched, it's a Tubi found footage film, heard it from Colors of the Dark podcast, called Life of Belle. It was not good by any means. It exists, but it's under 80 minutes, and you know I love those. On the 25th, we watched Teen Spirit, which was a better film than I was expecting it to be. The director of the film is, you guys know him from Spiral, from Horns, from so many movies. He plays a bad guy in like so many movies. Max Minghella. You guys, you know him. I'm surprised he directed that film because it was a cool film. Elle Fanning, really good in that film, and I just saw recently that she was on Broadway. So after seeing that and hearing her sing in that, I feel really proud that of her evolution. Anyways, we followed that up on the 25th with Baby Nooch. Once again, just here to support the Workaholics guys. This is Kyle Newacheck's brother, Adam Newacheck. This is his film, his directorial, I believe, debut. Yep, called Stranger in the Woods. And I mean, it was alright. It's a pretty mid film, but for a directorial debut, it wasn't half bad. And just once again, here to support the Workaholics guys in any way, shape, or form. It wasn't a bad film. And then the last movie of the month was the last 5-star film, and that is Poor Things. I loved Poor Things. I fell in love with Bella Baxter. I think it was such a fantastic film. Mark Ruffalo gave me the biggest ick of life. But I really enjoyed it. I love that Gerard Carmichael was in it. I love that Christopher Abbott was in it. I love that Margaret Qualley was in it. I love that so many faces that I wasn't expecting to see were in this film, and it made it so much better for me. I was enthralled. I loved the costuming. I loved the setting. I loved the title cards. I loved everything about this movie. I love Yorgos. Maybe I'm a little biased because I don't think that Yorgos has made a bad film. I love The Lobster. Alex hates The Lobster. I love it. So maybe I'm a little biased, but I really loved Poor Things, and that was the last 5-star film and the last film that we watched in the month of February. So if you guys enjoyed, let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know if you've watched anything that I've mentioned. If you guys want to follow me on Letterboxd, I will leave that link down below. I feel like we are gonna have a long video next month because it's only the 6th and we've watched so many movies, including Necromantic 2, and not one is one that I had to turn off because it made me feel sick. Anyways, on that note, I hope that you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are. I will see you guys very soon. Sayonara, Spooky fam.